Welcome back to Started from Scratch. We're on our Instagram's episode. We looked at a clothing business, a local shop, and we fixed their issues and then scaled and optimized. Well, now we're going to take that clothing business and make our own and start that business from scratch. So this is going to be a line of upscale streetwear. The upscale streetwear is literally just fashionable clothing that is on the upscale side, but we're going to hit the streetwear component and keep it a bit edgy, tap a little bit of a niche. We're going to have seasonal releases and we're going to have take a limited inventory approach. This basically means that we're going to kind of tap that similar space that Hypebeast clothing had way back, where you had maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 items available and people would line up for it. We're going to take that same approach. Obviously, we don't have a reputation or brand built before that, but we're going to use that as sort of a catalyst that we're going to hit the in between where we have limited clothing, high pricing, high quality, and build a really close knit customer base. So let's look at costs. We have our garments, which are going to be blazers, trousers, shirts, shoes, and accessories. Each of these will combine together to make one outfit, and we'll repeat that for the different outfits that we're going to include in the season. These are the costs that you see on screen. And the idea here is that they're going to be customized to a certain season with color, textures, and as well as hitting that kind of streetwear or edginess that we want to include into it. Then we're going to look at delivery. So we have packaging costs, we have shipping fees. So this is getting the product to our location. This is not getting the product to someone's place or whatnot. That's a separate fee, which I think would be smart enough to bake into the customer's charge because we want to have the customers coming into our shop. The reason for that is we want to include a tailor and we're going to want a sales rep. The sales rep is going to be there for entertaining the customer, giving them an experience, making it more than just we go in and buy clothes. It's kind of an experience to be there. And then the tailor is going to be there for sizing it, fitting it, making it look just right, like it was made for the customer, not like it just came off the rack. And so because we want them in our store, we want to give them that experience. We want that money that we spend in our store to be of value. We want them to come in and see it. So if we have to ship it to them, we can put that charge onto them. Per location, we're going to be spending around 10K a month. This is going to be mostly because we want a place with decent foot traffic as well as a place that's on a nicer area. We don't want to pick any place that's dingy or any place that struggles with foot traffic or has a different demographic because we're going to be tapping a higher quality or higher valued customer base. And so if they're going to be spending more, they're going to want to go to nicer places. So it makes sense to spend 10K a month. And then for advertising, we're going to spend $500 a month. This is just going to be kind of totaling all together to spend money on photo shoots, getting models in there to take pictures with their clothing. We're going to be looking at putting up images on our in our store or around our area to show off what our products are like. Obviously, we're not going to spend so much money on advertising because we still want to hit the kind of niche level where if someone sees someone wearing that clothing, it looks nice, it's edgy, it kind of catches them. They're like, "Where'd you get this from?" They don't know that it came from a brand or a name. It's not like you see and say, "Oh, this is Louis Vuitton, this is that." We want to keep it very subscript, kind of hit that I would say old money approach, but not necessarily trying to be old money. We're just going to have that exclusivity factor built into it. So our advertising is going to go more into showing what's possible with our clothing rather than marketing. And for our cleaning fees, we're going to spend $300 a month. This is just to keep our place nice, tidy, clean. Anything that we have there that may get dirty to make sure there's no dust around, make sure our garments are good. We really just want to keep the place clean. So it's just a base fee, get it deep cleaned once a month, and we're good to go. And then hospitality, we're going to spend around $1,000 a month. This is going to be for buying champagne, buying coffee, buying biscuits, buying anything that we need to entertain the guests. So they come in, they have an experience, we chat with them, they can drink, they can eat, there can be a live DJ if we have a little party or something, whatever it may be. We're going to spend that money to make it an experience to be in our store. And then we're going to have products. So our products are going to look like the same way that you see when you see a runway show. You see total outfits. You see a bag, you see accessories, you see clothes. Those all outfits then end up going on the rack, right? So you may have 20, 30 models, and those businesses will then put out those entire outfits in their stores. But we just want to bring that down to 5. We want to keep it very limited. We want to keep it very precise. We want to avoid as much as possible that issue where our supply doesn't always sell. And so with that fact, we're going to be only selling 5 outfits per season. Our sizes are going to be from double XS to double XL. And then we're going to have a peak inventory strategy, which is going to peak centered. So 10 for medium, and then it's going to cascade downwards. So 10 for medium, and then small is going to be 9, and then extra small is going to be 8, and then extra small 7, then same way all the way to the extra large. And so with that, we have an interesting approach where the majority of people buy from the center and around. And obviously, as seasons go, as we see our supply sell and not sell, we're going to tweak that. So if we have more extra small, we're going to put that center around extra small and cascade outwards. If we have more extra large, we're going to cascade all the way from extra large down. So it's not necessarily strict, but that's the idea, that we want to keep the people that aren't the majority size, keep their inventory lower than the ones who are the majority size. So that way we don't eliminate the base market, if that makes sense. Then for cost calculation, so each outfit for us costs, that entire outfit that we're gonna have 5 per season, each one's gonna cost a total of $260 with shipping included, with packaging brought to our place or to our store. Our yearly cost for salary is gonna be 83,200, and our store cost is gonna cost 141,600. This is the yearly cost for getting our store and location set up and everything working. Obviously, in our previous videos, we talked about the price of setting everything up, renovations, all of that. Here, we're going to assume that we pick a place that we can just work with right off the bat. We'll make some changes here and there, but we're not going to be spending more than like a few $100 to just bring in a couple nice things, which will be baked into $1,000 for the initial ones, because you'll want something like hand sanitizers, we'll want something like room mist and all those things, higher quality products. So that's going to be baked in $1,000 hospitality chart costs that we incur. And then our 5 outfits times the 4 seasons ends up being 20 outfits a year. And so 20 outfits a year, combining all those costs together, we have a total expense of 588,800. So that means to have our entire operations running for an entire year, it's going to cost us around 600K. Now, obviously, that's a high number compared to the other ones, especially because we're working with such a limited inventory, and we're not looking at higher inventories like you would see at Zara or like an H&M. We're going to be very limited, and it's a high cost. But the perk here is that once these all sell out, we have a really nice margin to work with. So our pricing that we're going to do, because we're tapping into a more luxurious market, we can push our numbers much higher, and our quality we're spending more on. For example, a shirt, they can manufacture shirt for $5-10, but we're spending $20 on a shirt. So obviously we're paying more. And with that in mind, we're going to be spending a lot, charging the customers a lot more for our pricing and for our products. So the total ends up being 2,600 for buying an entire outfit, as you can see the number breakdown on the screen, but 2,500 for the total, or 2,600 for the total cost to a customer. That's what we're going to be charging it or listing it as. Now, combining that all together, if our revenue is, or if our cost is 588,000, to break even, we would want to have 227 outfits sold. These are our median points, and you can see the other ones on the screen that show how much break even would be for blazers, trousers, all the other stuff that we're selling individually. But our main goal obviously is the outfits, because we want to sell the whole package out, and we want to keep that as a kind of a base that the customers look for, not just individual garments. They can, but our idea approach is to just sell the 227 outfits to break even, then go plus. For a profit, so looking at profit side now, if our cost again it's 588,000, we have 6 sizes, which means that we have 70 inventory for the items, or 70 inventory for the outfit. So for example, our blazer, we're gonna have 70 inventory for the blazers, we're gonna have 70 inventories for the shirts, which means that if we have 70, you have 70 for the full outfit. So to sell, assuming we're going to be able to sell the full outfits at our max out, our total revenue would be 3,640,000. This is basically bringing in the entire outfit is sold. We're clearing all our inventory. Every single item that we've made for that season gets sold, and that happens year round, which means that our profit ends up being 3,051,000. Now, assume you have a margin of 20 or 40% that doesn't sell. Well, you can cut that profit down by half or by a quarter, and then you'll see the difference there. But the idea is that we're going to be selling the entire outfits, and we're going to keep a luxury space for our customers to come in, and they're going to enjoy it, then they're going to buy our products, and we go that way. So, selling points. What makes a customer want to spend this much money, and how can we have such a huge margin of revenue, 3 million for a brand new store? So, our focus is exclusive branding and membership. We're really looking at building an exclusive space where people can come in, they can look at our clothes, but if we're going to sell it to them, they're going to be part of our space, they're going to be part of our community. We can host kind of local these events with them. We can basically give them an experience where they feel like they belong to a select group of people who buy from us. And a lot of people are switching towards that, where they want not just brand identity, but a connection to their brand that makes them exclusive, makes them stand out. Because there's so many clothes out there, there's so much option, there's so much luxury that you can immerse yourself into. But having an attachment to what you buy makes it so much more of a sell. So branding and membership becomes a nice exclusive selling point. High quality social media and low selling. So this is where we're going to look at not selling our garments on socials, but showing an experience. A perfect example of that is the luxury brands who associate their clothing to a certain fruit or a certain fruit or whatever they associate it to kind of have that chain of association. We're going to do something similar, but build more of an experience around what our clothing represents, the identity of our clothing, and not just sell and say, hey, buy this, buy that. You'll see a representation of what our brand stands for. Then we're going to have an enhanced experience for shopping, which basically it's that hospitality fee that we're going to spend to just get everything set up so nice that when you come in, you're in a gourmet kind of setup experience. And then finally, product quality. We're going to be spending an extra dollar for nice quality products, and we're not going to be charging so much for our products. So this way, we have a nice in between of we're in the luxury space, we are paying for good quality, we have a nice margin, and we have good quality that people can wear around that won't feel like, oh, I've just bought something cheap, whatever. So exclusivity and product quality makes it a nice touch. Then we have sales channels. So our sales channels, we're going to look more on the side of network and partnerships rather than marketing and ads and all that. So we're going to make it more of not necessarily word of mouth, but connection points. So we'll work with luxury dating services, stylist services, high ticket coaching, all to tap into the market of high net worth individuals who are willing to spend that extra dollar in our space and join our space. So the nice thing is if you work with a stylist and they like all the things that we release, well, then every season that they renewed their customers' products, they're going to go to our store and give them our outfits, right? So we want to build it in that space so that we join the ecosystem of high quality luxury goods that go to high net worth individuals. That's our main approach. And then our ads are going to be, like I've said many times in this video, all about the lifestyle, all about the experience. It's not going to be selling the product, it's going to be selling the experience of wearing our products. And so with that all being said, I'd like to thank you for watching. This one was hopefully a bit shorter than the other ones and more precise to the point. But you can see here the difference between this type of business where if you factor in higher quantities of products, you end up with a situation of potentially factoring in loss or overproduction. And so with this, we have the opportunity to try and tap something special with an exclusive brand that tailors to a high net worth individuals that is niche in itself, and maybe with this we have a better chance of selling total inventory, and this way it's a completely different approach than what you see for other businesses who have to factor in larger quantities. The interesting thing is that our mindset goes towards focusing on the customers coming in rather than our products going out, and that's what I think adds a little bit of an edge to enhance that, I would say, appeal for the profit that we're going to see rather than hoping for the profit that we see. So comment your thoughts, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for our next videos coming out. Thank you for watching.